When you got this script, what were you thinking in terms of your vision of how you would eventually direct it?
Well, it's a very interesting story because when we met our lead producer, John, we were working on another feature, Oxenfree, and we were canvassing the area, and we literally knocked on his door, and when he found out what we were doing in the area, shooting a film, he approached us about sort of what the initial idea started with him, which was basically that he has, we're all from North Dakota, myself, Stephen Maloney, John, the producer, and so, obviously our home state means a lot to us, and so he had this idea of shooting something out in the Badlands, something specifically about paleontology, because one of his friends is a commercial paleontologist, and he'd been out at digs and was fascinated by it. So my inner 13-year-old was like, I like dinosaurs, I've seen Jurassic Park, sure, let's figure this out, right? So film's obviously much different than Jurassic Park, but what we did start doing was looking at these sort of classic adventure films, from modern westerns like No Country for Old Men and Hell or High Water to, Spielberg films like Jurassic Park for like story structure, things like that, all the way back to John Huston's Treasure of the Sierra Madre. So we really wanted to sort of infuse a modern western with this sort of classic traditional adventure story. And so we hope that sort of adds an interesting flavor. You don't get to see that very much in modern cinema. So.
And you use a lot of darker colors in the movie. It's a completely different color gradient, right?
Yeah, we our cinematographer Michael Eldon Lloyd is just incredible, and we had the amazing opportunity to shoot with this beautiful anamorphic lenses out there in the Badlands, and it lends it all this really interesting sort of landscape and authenticity to the landscape, and so yeah, we dealt with a lot of these sort of darker, sort of almost sunburnt sort of tones, these sort of tan. Deserty sort of western feel, to sort of complement that.
And what was your biggest challenge in terms of directing actors? Because I know we have a child actor on set. Yeah. It's very difficult, to direct a child actor. So what was your biggest struggle with that?
What's interesting, actually, Mason Mayhay, who was our child actor, who plays Ezekiel in the film, was actually probably one of the easiest actors I've ever worked with. He actually was, he's like a little 80-year-old man. He's just patient and kind and understanding and just instantly got things and didn't waste time and didn't goof around. So he was a pleasure. So really, in terms of all the actors on the film were really excellent, and really sort of our biggest issues were just trying to make sure we could get it all done in the time. You only have so much time to film out in your locations, and it's the middle of the Badlands, and you've flown all these people in from LA that are like, what's North Dakota? And so that really ended up being sort of a big challenge for us, just being out there, But I know the actors said that it really helped them get into character, though, as well, to actually be out there and not just somewhere out in, Palmdale, shooting in the desert.
Right.
Yeah.
What part of the film are you most proud of?
I know that as a film as a whole, there's so many sections, it's hard to say what you love the most, but I'm specifically very... what's near and dear to me are two sections specifically, which is the opening of the film I feel really, really great about. I know that our DP and myself really enjoyed shooting that section. It comes off really, has a lot of tone, which I think is hard to capture sometimes. And then I had a really, just a blast working with Mark Margolis. So any of his scenes, like in the trailer, the RV, were just a blast because he brought such a unique comedy and energy to this scene that wasn't there before, which was really great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to see it.
Take care.